And you can like just see how crazy things can get.
I am about to get so evil. Oh God, no. Am I taking damage? I'm taking damage. Corey. What am I doing? I have no idea why I'm doing this. Curry. Oh, my screen turned red. No! What is this? Curry. What am I doing? I don't think I need this. Alright, taking damage. Oh God, what is happening? No. Whenever I tap the
Hmm.
No, what? Curry.
Oh my gosh. Hmm.
No, what?
Oh. Oh. Ah, my gosh. I wonder, can
No,
two
I'm
people?
taking it off.
Can two people? Oh yeah, so two
I'm
people can
taking
die on
it
the same
off.
spike.
No.
I thought maybe their
No,
body can, you know, cushion the
I'm taking it
impact.
off.
Now I know. Very morbid thought, but this game's pretty morbid. Yes, yes, Char. I think it's all about how many insanity levels it gives you. That's what it says. They give you one insanity level. The- I don't know, testing something out. Wrong button. Hmm. Hmm.
If I leave and show you something, this will make you maybe get the.
See if I can see it for the jetpack. Hmm.
No! What am I doing?
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh.
So you mean just like the picture, you're putting more of a sanity on you.
Actually, no. What am I about to do?
What's that game? What's that game called, Char?
It's a very bad
Odyssey.
I don't. It's a very bad now.
Okay.
Okay. I am.
Hmm.
Good.
Arcane Odyssey. Hmm. Hmm. Why would I do this? Hmm. Oh, that works. Hmm.
This boss has been killing me for the last 20 times.
Oh yeah. You can go far. You can go. You can go far, kid, with a jetpack. Oh my gosh. All right. There it is. All right, Char. Sure. Unless. So it's a takeout day. So do you still want to get the Prime? No? I imagine Prime is big enough that I bet the gas station near us has it. Okay. We'll get it and then let me know when you're ready to read after that.
We're all here? What? Birdie, look. Craze fish, craze grub, and craze cat. That's the reason He's so tanky and good. What is that? No. Don't you think about it. Don't you think about it. What is this, Jason? Where is it?
All right, hey, did you get to the island, my friend?
I just went the wrong direction.
Okay. If you stop right there, would it pause where you're at? Okay, it will go where your respawn point is. Oh, that's funny. I get it now. That's gosh, that is a Army of Darkness reference. Yeah, man. Oh. George. Sorry, dude. Sorry, Poochie.
What? But actually, guess what?
No faster already. Liquid Robo.
Guess when I got in block 3. I actually did get control, but this is a legendary.
You're welcome.
Way worth the control.
I didn't know if it was for your thing tonight.
Not approved.
Oh wait, I dumped.
Finally got the control, and I'm not gonna lie, it's so cool. He's Alright, be there. You're at the island.
Ooh. Charlie asked for one too. Charlie.
He's going to the dock.
So, when you're done, Char, Jason can have one too. Robin made chocolate pumpkin muffin bread.
They're pumpkin blondies.
Mm.
They're like a brownie, but
I also got the pirate helmet, and
so it's like a
we've been using
cookie bar.
shark raced. I am so fast.
All right, hey Charlie. You told me when you get to the island. Are you trying to get to the
He's going to the
spawn point?
dock, that way it's a spawn point.
Wow.
We get all the chesties. Wait, no, I'm saying.
Now camp dude. Is that your spawn point?
Well, it said set my spawn point.
It is really good though. Hey Bailey, if you don't want yours, Daddy will get it.
What happened? What happened here?
Do you guys tell Robin thank you? Good, awesome. All right, I need you to super hydrate after that, okay? All right. Joshua chapter 2, verses 1 through 24. All right. Christ, you're amazing. Thank you for you. Thank you that we can be in relative peacefulness here. That we can take school, come back, play games, meditate on your word, knowing that makes us better. May we meditate on your law, on your goodness, on your precepts, on the way you interact with humanity, so we can embody the way that you love the other. Thank you for stepping close into humanity. Wonderful name, amen. 4:32. From Acacia's, Joshua's son Nun sent 2 men to investigate quietly. Go and look at the country and at Jericho. They went and came to the house of a woman who was a prostitute, called Rahab, and slept there. The king of Jericho was told, now some men came here this evening, Israelites, to investigate the country. So the king of Jericho sent to Rahab, produce the men who came to you, who have come to your house, because they have come to investigate the whole country. The woman had taken the 2 men and hidden them. So she said, yes, the men came to me. I didn't know where they came from. The gate was about to be shut at dark and the men went out. I don't know where the men went. Pursue after them quickly because they can overtake them. So whereas she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them among the stalks of flax that she had on the roof, laid out. The king's men pursued them on the road toward the Jordan, to the fords, and the gate was shut after the men pursuing them and went out. Before those men went to sleep, she went up to them on the roof. She said to the men, I acknowledge that Yahweh has given you the country, and that a terror of you has fallen on us, and that all the people who live in the country have dissolved in fear before you. Because we have heard how Yahweh dried up the waters of the Reed Sea in front of you when you came out of Egypt, and how you acted to the 2 Amorite kings across the Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom you devoted. When we heard, our resolve melted. There was no spirit left in anyone on account of you, because Yahweh your God is the God in the heavens above and on the earth below. So now, will you promise me by Yahweh, because I have shown commitment to you, that you will also show commitment to my father's household? Give me a true sign that you will let my father and mother live, and my brothers and sisters, and everyone who belongs to them, and that you will save our lives from death. The men said to her, our lives in place of you, to the death. If you do not tell about our business here, when Yahweh gives us the country, we will show commitment and truthfulness to you. So she let them down by a rope through the window, because her house was in the wall of the fortification, and she was living in the fortification. She said to them, go into the mountain, so the pursuers do not come upon you. So you can hide there for 3 days until the pursuers come back. After, you can go on your way. In verses 17 to 24, the men go on to tell Rahab to hang a red rope in her window, so the Israelites know where she and her family are when they came to take the city. After hiding, as she says, they return to the camp and report the terror of the local people, an indication that Yahweh has given the country to them. So Joshua sends out the spies.
Yeah.
Like, who else sent spies out? Moses. And last time it didn't go too well.
No, but this one good.
So this time, no, they went out and they caught themselves in the pickle, where they're in the city. The king of the city knows they're there, and so he's trying to find them. And so what does Rahab do? Yep, she hides them. And then and then she does the next coolest thing is she Yahweh's. What does she acknowledge as Yahweh? Right. He is the man, the good God. All right, and then what did they tell Rahab to do when they come to take over the country? To hang. What did they hang? It was a red rope, scarlet rope, to show that like this is your house. We will not lay a finger on your house when we take this land.
Oh, that makes sense.
Marriage.
In this commentary, Joshua 2 is the only chapter for which I'll not tend to provide an opening story in accordance with the usual format of the Old Testament for every one series. How could I compete with this actual story about the adventure of two nice Jewish boys in the Jericho whorehouse? The same dynamic applies to the story in Genesis 29 about Jacob waking up and finding he has married the wrong girl, as a result of being sent off on an expedition by Joshua. What on earth does Joshua think he is doing? Why does he need a couple of spies to check things out in Jericho? It isn't as if his army is going to attack it. All Israel is going to do is undertake a religious procession, blow their horns, and watch the city's wall fall down. It is going to be rather like the Reed Sea event. So why the... It's an interesting word. Reconnoiter? What's that?
Reconnoiter.
Reconnoiter. Make a military observation of a religion.
That's an interesting word.
Yeah.
Reconnoiter.
Reconnoiter.
What I don't understand is sometimes we'll learn a word and then we're just not going to hear it ever again in the Bible.
Well, this is getting commentary.
I know.
Yeah, but then like again, we're like reading the writings from this person that probably has like 20 plus years of like college, university, PhD education. So he's already probably making it a lot easier for us to read. But there's moments where unique words we have never heard slip in, and this is one of those.
Yeah, they slip in, but then we don't see it again.
Well, I bet if you advance your education,
Then you definitely.
you probably will run into these words. This is like most of the time language gets very simplified.
Into it again, I mean that you will probably run into it in the commentary again.
Oh, that's true because he's also dealing with this certain situation. So why the reconnoiter? The question. The reconnoiter. So why the
Ready?
reconnoiter? Reconnoiter.
I was being good at Google pronounce.
Yeah, reconnoiter.
Reconnoiter.
So again, it's a connection between the military doing an observation. The question is given added point by the contrast with the previous ill-fated spy story in Numbers 13 to 14. There it was God who commissioned the expedition, not Moses. Though God's reasons for doing so are not clear, and one wonders whether it is a kind of test. Certainly this is how it turned out. Further, Moses himself later speaks of the venture of the people's idea. So Joshua's initiative raises questions. Jericho is a stunning oasis in a barren landscape, 1,000 feet below sea level, too hot in the summer but pleasant in the winter. It is surrounded by barren wilderness. But Jericho itself possesses abundant water. It was described a couple of pages ago in the Old Testament as a city of palm trees. Apparently, it was a bit like a Wild West town, with the saloon doubling as lodging house for people passing through Jericho as they travel north-south along the Jordan Valley or east-west between Canaan and Moab. Amalek and Naomi will later come this way, and Naomi will return this way with Ruth. And with the Mandress doubling as Madam, Canaanites' cities often have double walls with living space in between, and Rahab evidently lives in such a setting. The boys have no option but to stay here, and the sheriff knows where to look for strangers in town. Canaan compromises a collection of city-states, with its king, or sheriff, or mayor you could say, and each controlling the area around it. They are independent of one another, but in Joshua's day they are under Egyptian control. Evidently, the sheriff knows all about the Israelites hovering on the other side of the Jordan. Rahab's declaration that the city is paralyzed by the prospect of the Israelites storming across the river any day might be an exaggeration, but the sheriff knows he cannot ignore them. He has deputies keeping an eye open for suspicious-looking strangers, one of whom will be on permanent stakeout duty across the street from Rahab's establishment. Rahab shares the sheriff's assessment of the situation but reacts to it differently. The difference may reflect her relationship with her city. It is said that men have ambivalent feelings about women who make their sexual favors available. They both utilize them and disapprove of them. Economic factors are commonly what drive women into the sex trade. Perhaps Rahab was a widow. Evidently, she has a family to be concerned for, but perhaps they had a hard time making ends meet. And this was the way she learned to survive without being dependent on them. A woman like Rahab will be a marginal figure in the society. Part of it, but not really part of it. So maybe it is easier for her to respond differently to what people are saying about the Israelites, as it will be possible for a woman such as Mary Magdala to respond to Jesus in a way that most of the male pillars of the society cannot. Like the midwives in Exodus 1 or other women in Israel's story, she does not feel obliged to tell the male authority figures the truth when there is nothing truthful about the way they are behaving. So this is where like he'll talk about like she is not in power. And so she does not have to speak truthfully, especially when it comes to people's lives. Because also she has made actually a commitment to Yahweh, Yahweh the God, our God. And so actually she does not have to release the men to the local people. When the king hears about an event like the catastrophe at the Red Sea or about the fate of the kings across the Jordan, he determines to double his efforts to resist the invaders. Rahab is open to making different interferences. Rahab's open to making different interferences. Rahab the Canaanite reacts the same way as Jethro the Midianite when hearing about the miracle at the Red Sea. Lots of other non-Israelite men and women accompanied Israel out of Egypt and joined them in journeying to Sinai and onward to the Promised Land. Jethro and Rahab give such people faces and names. They remind us that from the beginning, Israel is not an ethnically exclusive people. Anyone who is prepared to recognize what Yahweh is doing is free to join Yahweh's people. Rahab resembles Ruth in the way relationships of mutual commitment between her and these members of Israel are her route into recognizing who Yahweh is. Not merely Israel's tribal God, but God in the heavens above and on the earth beneath. The Torah, so Ruth, actually even Rahab, but Ruth and Jethro, you remember who Jethro is? That is Moses' father-in-law. Yeah, so Jethro, so Moses got married, and his dad, so they're Mennonites, and he was actually a priest of Yahweh. So it's showing that it was not just the people who were ethnically Jewish, because Jethro wasn't Jewish, who committed to Yahweh, and shows that so committing to Yahweh is not exclusively a Israelite people God. It's a God open to people who just commit to him. Yeah. That's why we watched Joshua for Everyone yesterday, remember?
I thought you did that like near the end of the book.
Yeah, we were done with Deuteronomy, so we started. Oh, I see. At the end of Joshua, you're expecting us to watch it again? I see.
No, I was expecting us to watch the Joshua book like close to the end of
Oh.
it.
So,
To be prepared
I
for what's
see.
gonna happen.
the Torah had given no indication that Yahweh will make any exceptions when driving the Canaanites out of the country, or that Israel is going to make any exceptions when devoting the Canaanites. But the two men take for granted that there is no reason to drive out or devote anyone who submits to Yahweh.
When I say that, I mean like sometimes it'll be like at the end of Deuteronomy, it might tell you what to expect from Joshua, and then that way, if we watch the book of, if we listen to the book of Joshua, near the end of Deuteronomy, we can understand like the spoilers for Joshua, kind of.
Yeah. Okay. So in Deuteronomy, it talks about committing people, devoting the Canaanites to destruction. But here, like again, like you have that on one face, and that's a principle, and it's actually not supposed to, and it's showing the principle that you're not supposed to intermarry with them, especially when they serve other gods. But here you see in practice these two men. But the two men take for granted that there is no reason to drive out or devote anyone who submits to Yahweh. Like,
no way to kill him.
so it's like if she's submitting to Yahweh, she's not doing child sacrifices. If she's submitting to Yahweh, she shouldn't be serving other gods, because Yahweh is not about polytheism. Like Jonah's declaration that all Nineveh is to be destroyed, whenever God threatens destruction, the threat always presupposes unless you repent. Rahab models the sensible way to respond to God's threats of punishment. Along with Ruth, she will appear in Jesus' genealogy in Matthew 1. All right, friends. Oh, actually, so you hear that part? So this person we're reading about, Rahab, she will be a descendant. So like Jesus is like great grandma. So this is we're reading about Jesus' great grandma,
Okay.
which is cool. All right, friends, we can start.
What? Like, no, wait, we have to talk about one more thing.
I mean, do you want to keep talking?
Nope.
You sure? Sound like you do.
Warriors won't
Oh gosh. I didn't know there was just death at the bottom like that. That sucks. All right. Well, that's that. Okay. So there is no bottom in the ice caves. And I see Andy.
So wait, what do you save now?
Well, if I would, from what I understand, that wasn't mine. Yep. Oh,
Oh
all right. Lesson learned. Oh, that's fine. It's fine. I'll just get good. Learn from it and get good. Yeah.
121 defense.
Nice. All right, Charlie. That's still Arcane? You know what? I'm actually curious in trying it. Yeah, I'll play a Roblox game. What's the game called?
Arcane Odyssey.
All right.
What was that?
Arcane Odyssey.
Oh, you're going crazy.
Nah, take it off, but take it off. Nah, but
Put all of it back on. I dare you.
you sure?
I'm curious what'll happen.
ODYSSEY. ODYSSEY. ODYSSEY.
Now you see violent illusions. Interesting. Now just wait to see what happens.
See, I like original stuff like that. Because I haven't actually never seen anything like that in the game. That makes me want to try it. I have a hard time playing games. I just have a hard time playing